when we last gathered together, our intrepid heroes went to a delightfully different type of tailor shop where they expressed their uniqueness through custom clothing. After obtaining said masquerade/ball gown attire, they attended the Witchlight Court, a masquerade-like ball where they engaged in dancing, drinking, and I don't think you guys ate anything. But ultimately, during the course of the night, you danced with a number of mysterious individuals who gave you tokens of favor. Platinum blue.
Brad, I'm sorry to
yes?
interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
Are we recording this by chance?
We are.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Sorry, someone was messaging me and I got distracted. Sorry.
Please no problem. Another mysterious ball goer arrived. None other than the mistress herself, dancing with Yuke, revealing herself and some frightening information. She had hid aboard the frayed knot in its journey across the sea from Iron Gate, and had perhaps been staying or sleeping nearby Yuke the entire time. He was able to engage him in a rather not romantic kiss in front of Nightali, who saw it and stormed off in confusion and anger after sharing her own kiss with Yukala. Soon after, you were all invited to meet with the king and the queen of the Silver Sand Forest, as well as the king of Keeland, King Scotty, who was there as a guest. While there, an old woman, dead, was wheeled into the room. She was subsequently resurrected and confirmed that you are in fact the regenerated or reborn spirit of a legendary hero of the Rovenglad War, which you had learned a little bit about along your travels, and relayed to you that you made a deal with Granny Nightshade. Your life for her to stop making war against your people. Ultimately, you were killed, as well as your wife, Narthina. And your spirits were sent to planes unknown to one day be reborn again. While speaking with this old woman, you remembered Nightali kind of storming about, and you went after her. Were able to track her with Vanya into the Witchlight Carnival, which was in full swing, and into the Hall of Mirrors. You found her, to your dismay, walking away inside of a mirror with a shadowed, cloaked, and masked figure that laughed menacingly as the mirror shattered before you, separating you from her. And that is where we find our characters. How would you like to proceed?
I didn't realize she was on the boat physically. I thought she was, like, eyeballing us.
Who was
what
eyeballing you?
Landry said about them being...
Granny Nightshade. I thought she was like just scrying us.
it was the mistress.
Oh, the mistress. Yeah,
The mistress.
I thought she was just like peeking in. I didn't know she was freaking there.
They can go into the
Ethereal Plane. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that was my understanding of what was happening there. She was in another plane where we couldn't see her, but she was...
Yeah, the ethereal plane is basically a copy of the material, just a little bit more fuzzy, and you can be in it and observe what's going on in the material plane. But the material plane can't see you unless you are casting specific spells or have some kind of magical item that would allow you to see into that plane.
Okay. I was about to ask a question, but I'm like, Priscilla wouldn't know the answer to that, so maybe I shouldn't either. Okay.
Was it Vanya who came with me to the House of Mirrors?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember.
And that's where you find yourself. You and Vanya staring at a shattered mirror and its empty frame. The mirror is around you, intact, but empty, but for your own reflections in your ridiculous but fashionable ball garb.
And I assume there's nothing off or irregular about any of the other mirrors, or did this room only have the one mirror? This particular space we're in?
No, it was a room full of mirrors. Initially, when you went through this room, the first time, nothing showed up in the mirrors. This was like the last room you guys went through, and when you went through it, like nothing showed up in the mirrors, not even your reflections. And Natalie was kind of staring off into one of the mirrors. You kind of caught her looking at it. She kind of snapped out of it, and you moved on. Now, one of the mirrors is shattered, the glass on the floor, and the other mirrors are showing a reflection of you and Vanya, but that's it.
Okay. I don't know if I have a handkerchief or anything like that, but I'd like to take a sliver, a decent-sized piece of glass from the shattered mirror and take it with me.
Sure.
If possible, without cutting myself.
You are able to do that.
All right, and then we will make our way back to the others.
As you make your way up one of the lifts back up to the ball, it's still in full swing. You see that Garmond has completely forgot you, as he is surrounded by women as they dance around him, and he's just kind of having a ball. You move past Garmond and his joy and back up to this palace that's situated in the tree above this common area. Move up through the throne room and back down the internal staircase to this room where you had been before. Everyone hiss kind of turns as you enter the room. Everyone looks up hopefully, and hiss kind of breaks out and says, "Well, did you find her?"
She's gone. I'll relay what we saw and give the piece of glass to Hiss.
She takes it in her little hands and starts inspecting it. She kind of sits on the ground, closes her eyes, and her hands start glowing with this faint kind of whitish glow, and magic starts pouring into the glass and around it as she casts an identify spell. Well, what did you see? Says Philip Andrew.
There was a woman in a hooded cloak with a sort of skull mask in the mirror. And Natalie was with her. And she sort of had her arm over her shoulder, and they left. They went away.
That doesn't sound so good. It's not a good start.
I don't understand why she would do that. Did you get a look at her face? Did she look off in any way?
I was looking at her face the entire time. It was hard to discern. It was like anger, confusion, envy, other things I couldn't quite discern. I'm not good at this. I'm not good with people, you know.
There's some things never change.
I didn't have her for the nuclear option type of person. I don't know, I thought she'd at least want to listen to an explanation before running off with a stranger. Unless that wasn't a stranger.
What do you mean?
Well, I said earlier about her making a deal to get the powers she has. What if that person is something to do with who she thought she was making that deal with, or something to that effect? If someone turns up and says, "Hello, I am your wonderful benefactor who saved your life," you're more likely to trust them and go off with them. Maybe she owes that person something.
Did she ever tell you about who this person was? This being?
Not I. I'll look at Okala.
I mean, initially we were all concerned, and I remember asking her when she started showing these powers. I asked her about it, and to be honest, she kind of put me at ease. She said that this voice that came to her sounded like a kindly voice, like a genuine voice. But perhaps, I don't know, maybe, I mean, I think we were all fooled by the mistress when we all met her, if it was her, or if it was someone pretending to be someone else. I don't understand.
Magic from bargains comes at a great price. Generally speaking, most Wollucks, as they're called, are contacted by a patron, and they pay dearly for their and power, in my experience and study.
So out of character, I did make notes on that conversation. So the voice was a she. Natalie said that she owed the person who gave the powers to her. Like there was some understanding that there would be a repayment of sorts, and that this person in her head was worried about Ukala. That's what I got.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to piece that
Yeah.
all together. I don't have notes on that section. I was just looking.
Yeah, it won't reveal its. Yeah, Natalie said it seems kindly but won't reveal its name. It teaches her when she's alone, seems to know a lot but reveals very little. Natalie has asked what the repayment will be, but the patron just says she'll know when it comes. That's what I got.
Maybe we misunderstood what worried about Ukala means.
That's what I was thinking. There's definitely two ways to take that.
Yeah, I was kind of the impression that it could go either way. Honestly. But I wasn't, like, Lucilla wasn't there for that conversation, so I pretty much just wrote the notes, tried to not dwell on it, because I'm not supposed to know that even happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got.
King Scotty seems to have produced another plate of a turkey leg and some other snacks. And he's kind of, in between bites, pipes in. That's why I never allow warlocks part of my court. They don't belong to you. They belong to someone else. You can't control them. Ultimately, you can't trust them. Powerful, yes, but the juice isn't worth the squeeze, in my opinion. He looks at the rest of you. None of you have made a pact with anyone, have you? No?
Not for powers, no.
I hadn't heard as much.
How long is the carnival? How long before they leave?
Queen Eurydice pipes in. The carnival is usually here for about a month before they move on to the capital of Keelan to make their way across the mainland, eventually ending up in Greyhawk.
I was worried that it was going to be. We only had a couple days to find her. We may still only have a short time to find her.
I mean, I don't think she's in the mirror. I think it took her somewhere else, but I could be wrong.
But the mirror is... Well, the mirror's gone now, so...
Yeah, I don't think we need the carnival to be here, necessarily. I could be wrong. But Brad, when he said it was King Scotty that said he hadn't heard as much, can I do an insight check? Is he fucking following us or having people watch us?
Sure.
Do I
Go
get
ahead.
the sense that was a loaded statement?
Go ahead and do an insight check.
Insight's not great.
Yes. It wasn't very veiled. It held additional meaning in subtext.
Okay. What if that was that guy? Remember there was a random guy who was watching Hiss when we were in the hold of the Sea Princes. Could be unrelated.
You could always ask.
Oscar King, so who are your spies? Can you give us a description? No,
Well,
I don't know if I'm fucking with that. I don't know if I want to ask him.
well, what's the plan there, General?
I don't know. I don't understand any of this. Where did they go? Where did she go to?
Well, I don't know myself. But ask yourself, though you don't truly remember, your greatest enemy was Granny Nightshade and her coven. Perhaps she has a hand in it? It wouldn't be too far flung of an idea.
Did you mention about the long fingers?
I did.
Yeah. I'll ask Philip Andrew. You don't have a description of what Granny Nightshade looks like, do you?
She didn't bother with the trouble. She didn't take the trouble to disguise her hideousness. She rather liked the recoiling looks and the terrified stares of those who came into contact with her. She, hideous of visage with the sharp teeth and a nose like a toucan's beak. Gaunt, rail-thinned, skin stretched over her bones like a drum. She oftentimes wore big oversized cloaks, and she had long fingers, claws that would swipe and eviscerate men in seconds. With an eye. It is as if she wasn't rendering you completely insane from pain using her own magic. Hideous creature. But brilliant.
Sounds charming.
Very smart, very intelligent. Never broke a bargain, but made sure the bargains were always in her favor. I'm still mad at you for that, Yarno. A bargain with a hag, you... Not just any hag. A powerful one, ancient one. Of course, you were so full of hubris.
You'll excuse me for not being... I've had a bit of a day, you know. You're telling me I am not who I am, that I am some person who lived hundreds of years ago. You're telling me Natalie has gone God knows where with Lady Nightshade, and that she's
Granny.
made some sort of deal to become a witch or something. I don't understand any of this, so I'll just...
Hey, you. Relax. Alright? Show a little fortitude. relax, calm down, formulate a plan. And wake up after hundreds of years to get snapped at.
Forgive me for not having sympathy. You've been gallivanting out in the fields of the ever after for this whole time. If you have to deal with our shit on the worldly plane for one afternoon, I'd say that's something small in comparison.
She leans forward and squints her eyes. Are you sure that's not Athena? She's got the attitude.
Not everyone is a reincarnated form of someone from thousands of years before, alright? I'm my own person, and so is Ukala.
Yes. So he thought.
He still is his own person.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
His experiences are different.
And yet,
It's not just y'all know.
here we are. Mortal enemies meeting again 1,000 years later. Destiny, though takes a while, is not deterred.
Lucilla scoffs and shakes her head.
Yes, definitely, possibly her.
Carla, I think we need to go away ourselves. Away from this for a moment.
The king pipes up. We understand. This is all a bit much. Take the time you need. Feel free. I'll send word to the camp. I'll have your things brought up here. You may each have a room in the palace, if you so desire. If you need food, nourishment, drink, you have but to ask. We support you. We have been enemies of Granny Nightshade and the Dreadwood for hundreds of years, waiting your return. We do not have the strength to make an all-out assault. We would not survive a war with the denizens of the Dreadwood, and I only fear that Granny has become even more powerful. But what resources we have are at your disposal. King Scotty pipes up. Same here. You've but to ask. Please, the Queen pipes up. Take your leave.
As soon as she says that, I am out.
Ukala lingers for a bit, confused, frustrated, exhausted, and just kind of looks at them and says, I don't know that I am who you say I am. There's only one thing I ask.
Yes?
Just tell me what I need to do to get her back. No walkout.
You walk out. Hisik, what do you do?
I go with them.
Okay. Vanya awkwardly stands, turns and looks. I'll stay for a moment longer. I think Hiss is almost done. And about 30 seconds after that, Hiss kind of blinks her eyes, picks up the glass shard. Where is everybody?
Oh shit! I forgot that takes 10 minutes.
And Vanya holds out her hand, and Hiss reaches up and grabs onto it. And this way, I'll fill you in. And they walk out the room together.
Oh, we missed an opportunity to do like the little dance that people do with like the little kids where you have them stand on your feet. Missed opportunity.
So you go, are directed by palace staff. You each get a room within the palace. And you find yourselves congregating in one of them. The room is lush, well appointed. There is a brazier burning with a continual flame spell that gives off heat, but you get the impression is not a danger to the wood aesthetic. The beds themselves are kind of made of pillows, just stacked pillows. And the rooms are also just kind of open to the forest beyond. And have like a large balcony as well. I don't know exactly what the mirror is. It's confusing, but there's certainly an aura of teleportation, magic, an essence emanating from the glass itself. Other than that, it is merely a piece of mirror.
There's no way to tell where they went. There's no way to trace them, follow them.
And Hiss kind of pipes up. She looks kind of hopeful. I do have my time turning spell, my time lens. Perhaps I could see what happened if I return to the site in the Hall of Mirrors.
Let's go then. Would anyone else like to join?
Are we in separate rooms or are we together at the moment?
You have separate
we're
rooms, but
together.
you are together in one.
Righto. I've got no interest in sleeping. I'm too
Yeah.
pent up. I'll come with.
Okay, so you guys make your way through. We've passed party goers down the lift and in through the front gate of the Witchlight Carnival.
Is the ghost Taylor still okay? Is he?
Yeah, you watch as you pass. You see that someone has pushed his cart like up near the like the drink table, and he's like got some spectral goblet of whatever he is pretending to drink, and he's like leaning his elbow against just the edge of his glass cloche. He's just got this like kind of debonair look on his face as he is speaking to an older human female who seems enraptured by him, and he kind of sees you as you pass, and he gives you like a wink and a raised eyebrow, raises his goblet, and continues on in conversation. You make your way down to the Witchlight Carnival, and you're yelled at yet again. You quick walk into the carnival without paying. You're yelled at by the old goblin. You are again yelled at as you kind of push your way into the Witchlight, into the Hall of Mirrors. Quick walking through, pushing past patrons, and find yourself in that last room again. You find it occupied by a family of elves. Looks like a father and a wife with 6 small elven children of a range of ages. You usher them out at their dismay, and you find yourselves alone in front of the broken frame.
No one's cleaned it up yet, or anything?
No, not yet.
All right.
So Hiss walks forward, and she puts her hands together about 6 inches apart, speaks the incantation, focuses on her magic, and you watch as this kind of clear wisp of arcane energy flows from her fingertips and forms into a small ring between her hands, and she spreads them out, and this kind of shimmering lens appears before her. And in just that area of about maybe 6 feet by 6 feet, you watch as she concentrates, and people, elves, people in costume, children, kind of zoom past the lens like it's in rewind. And eventually you watch as the lens shows shows you, Yuke, and Vanya standing before a broken mirror. Then the mirror knits itself back together, and you watch as 2 figures walk backwards towards the mirror from a distance. Then Yuke, you and Vanya disappear from view. The 2 figures who you recognize, one is Nightala and the other is the black-cloaked figure, walk backwards to the mirror, and then you watch them step out of the mirror backwards. You watch as they stand speaking to one another for some time, a short period of time, and Nightali disappears from frame, and you watch as the cloaked figure in the mask steps into the mirror and turns around. And Hiss goes, I think that's it, and stops it. And what you see before you is the cloaked figure staring out of the mirror, long robes covering her hands all the way down to the ground. A white mask, completely smooth of features, except for 2 slits for eyes. The hood pulled up all the way. You see Nightali walk into frame, standing about 5 feet from the mirror, standing and looking at it. You hear her say, I'm here. The figure walks up to the edge of the mirror and steps out. You hear in this kind of sweet, sing-song, soft voice, are you ready? It's time. It's time to fulfill your end of the bargain. Holly turns and kind of looks back towards the entrance of the room. Do I have to come? Yes, child. Trust me. It is for the best. He'll be safer this way. You hear Natalie mutter under her breath, I'm not sure I care about that at the moment. The cloaked figure chuckles to herself a little bit, not unkindly. He'll come around. He'll be safer if you're with me. I have work for you yet, child. And then perhaps you can return. She Natalie turns, looks back once more, kind of squares her shoulders. All right, Justice. Lead the way. And with that, the cloaked figure turns and motions towards the mirror. Natalie steps through it, and the figure steps in after her, and you watch as they walk into a black void. You then see yourselves, Vanya and Yuke, as you rush in and look into the mirror and see what you saw before. Natalie continues walking as the figure turns, and you watch again as long fingers peek out, long clawed fingers, gnarled ones, peek out of the bottom of the cloaked robe sleeves, and you hear soft chuckling, this time unkindly, sinister, full of meaning. It turns and walks away. The mirror shatters, and Hiss releases the spell.
Okay, I tried to get all of that, but there's a bit. The last thing Natalie said.
She says, all right, Justice.
Just,
Yes,
okay, that's what I thought she said.
Yeah.
Wanted to double check, thank you.
Hiss, kind of a little winded, looks up at you all. That was not good, I think.
No.
Good way.
The longer she's with them, the longer I fear they're putting thoughts in her head.
None of this makes sense. If she was jealous of me for kissing the mistress, how is she then going to join a coven with the same mistress? None of this makes any sense at all.
She sounds like, no offense, she's easily persuaded. I don't think she knows that that's happening yet, but I think they'll have a way of making her come around to the idea.
Did we think this Justice character is Lady Nightshade? I almost...
You heard Philavandrew talk about the fingers. And we've seen these before as well, in the swamp.
I don't know if she's so easily persuaded or if she's somehow sacrificing herself for you.
She seemed easily convinced that a voice in her head meant no harm. No offense intended. I think she needed to question it a bit more if this is the outcome, especially. Sudden power does not come from nothing. There's usually something or someone you owe it to.
No, but I see that maybe she's standing between Ukala and something that harm.
Or at least she thinks she is.
Yes,
I'm with you on that.
the witch did say something of he'll be safer if you're with me and all this, which is likely a lie.
Likely.
Well,
We still don't know where they went, do we?
Or how we get there.
I'm convinced it's in the Dreadwood. Wherever we would have gone to find them is where we'll find her.
So you don't think this portal is key?
It's what, sorry?
You don't think this portal mirror is the way there?
Not anymore. I mean, I'm not exactly magically gifted. I'll look at Hiss, but I don't think that's the kind of magic we have access to, and even if we did, it's broken now. Magic items, when they're broken, they tend to be broken for good, from my understanding.
Mirror isn't exactly something we could piece together, as it's not like we could sweep up the pieces and...
No, I think we have to take the long way. I mean, Hiss, you're free to take a look at it, but I don't think it's that easy.
I suppose I could try. She takes off the top of her mushroom costume that she's still wearing,
Oh god.
and kind of sweeps the pieces into the hat and like holds it.
That's a very cute image. I mean,
Short of finding some way to reuse this mirror or something like that, it seems we just have to find a way into the forest that the king of the... Sorry, what are the elves called?
The Silver Stand Elves.
I'm so sleep deprived. I'm sorry, guys. The Silver Strand, that the king of the Silver Strand and King Saudi just said is virtually impregnable. That any show of force would be destroyed. I mean, it's fine. I don't care. Maybe a smaller force, maybe just a small party would have better luck. Go unnoticed.
I mean, we've rescued a god thus far. How hard is it to get into the middle of a forest?
Yeah, we went through the ocean.
We've done things I thought literally impossible. This might just be another one on that list. I think for now we might want to get some rest, though. thing successful has ever done when you're running on empty.
I haven't slept well in weeks. I can almost guarantee you I won't sleep well tonight. But even so, you're right. Should probably go. I'm sorry I dragged you all into this. I didn't. Not my intention for any of this to happen.
Well, shit happens in this group. You're not the first one. We'll find her.
You can count on it. Vanya tells you. She puts her hand on your shoulder, squeezes it. Let's get some rest.
In for a copper, in for a platinum.
You all go ahead. I think I need a moment.
All right.
Maybe drop a coin to that very annoyed guy at the gate if you're feeling generous.
We'll see.
On the way out, Hiss kind of pats you on the calf. It'll be okay. It always is with us.
As we get to the gate, I'm going to pay the 2 coins. One for Ukala and one for Hissik. And I don't think any of us should be alone at this point. Look at what happened to her when she went off on her own. I'm going to keep an eye on Ukala.
That's smart.
How so? And you, where will you be? Like, where are you?
He's just gonna stay in the room with the mirrors for a bit and
Okay.
be angry.
And Hissik, what are you?
I'm just like gonna tail him.
Okay. Well, he's staying in the room.
Oh, I thought we were
He's staying in the
right. So
mirrors.
right, he's staying in the room. I'm gonna head back through the carnival to the general area and just kind of
Like, watch the exit kind of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I will be right back. I really need to pee.
Sure.
You and your bladder. I'm gonna make more coffee.
All right. Why don't we take like a 5-minute break then? Just be back at what is for me 10 o'clock.
All right.
Ow.
I'm back. Oh, everyone else.
As am I.
Oh, hello.
How is Steven?
Steven is good. He's playing video games in the other room. As he usually does when I'm playing D&D. I wish he had, like, a game that he was in, because he's too good of a player to not be playing it.
Yeah.
But he's one of these people who he kind of, I guess, treats D&D like more of a party game. As in, he's the type of person who likes to play it for a long time, but not often. Like, you can't commit to a weekly game.
Just because he has a busy schedule, or
He just can't be bothered. He likes to play things when he feels like it, and it's really hard to do that for D&D. So he plays a variety of games like League of Legends, Civilization, Crusader Kings, all that kind of stuff, and he likes to do those things on a rotation of sorts.
Yep.
And he kind of would like to play D&D under that basis, but that's not how you play this game.
No, it is not.
You have to either do mini campaigns or one-shots if that's what you want to do, and
That's hard for any group, though.
yeah, it basically wouldn't be a group at that point. I don't feel, because the only reason any of us have developed that bond is because we play together all the time and we've been playing together for years.
I have my other group. We have play on Sunday evenings, and like I DM'd a little bit. They wanted me to. I prepped a campaign, started a campaign, and then we just had issues, and that's anyway. But there's 4 of us that DM different games, and there's a 5th guy in the group that wants to DM Starfinder. So we bounce around a lot, but it's still the same group. So
You're still playing every Sunday, aren't you?
Sometimes I would say we're probably like 60%. Every 6 out of 10 weekends we play.
Okay.
But what the problem is, a lot of when we have cancellations, they won't happen until Sunday at 2:00.
Oh God.
Yeah, and when we're supposed to start at 6, they're like, there's one guy who's he's really bad for just not showing, and
just flaky.
And he's just a player. He's the one that wants to run the Starfinder campaign. But we're like, how are you gonna run a campaign when you're never here as a player? And he doesn't even have young kids. His kids in college. He just has so many distractions in his life, though. And then I'm having a really hard time actually investing the time to run a campaign with these guys, and when there's one of them I really don't like, his husband I get along with, but I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with that. I have been in groups before where it's been like either it was good and short-lived, or there was a little bit of tension, and so that ended up just not lasting long. Anyway.
Yeah.
Is everyone back?
Brett, are you back?
Yes.
Jackson Wood.
Have you been able to have some coffee?
No,
Tea to
no,
perk yourself up?
I try to avoid caffeine. I drink very little.
Okay,
So
that's
it doesn't
probably
help
for the
in the
best.
long run for me, for my particular sleep issues.
Okay, that makes sense.
You just need to hire Mike Tyson to punch you like every night.
I'll knock you straight the fuck out.
All right, Mike. Good night. Night, Brett.
You know, his voice would be like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, like 2 octaves higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say.
Sleep tight. Sweet dreams. Yeah, sweet dreams, Brett. I gotta
You
go
might as
feed
well
my
make
pigeons.
the D&D characters with a lisp, Brad.
I haven't. You're right.
Not enough.
I have to think about it too much.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. When you're doing voices, you just want to pick something that you can run with. And not think about too much. That's why this character is just my voice. It's really fucking easy.
Yeah. All right. So, Yukawa, you're sitting alone in the mirror room. Every once in a while, a fairgoer will come through and see you fuming and just kind of move on. What are you doing in there?
You will fume for a while and then kind of angrily lean against the space where the mirror used to be. Kind of, that's sort of like you lean with your forearm and you kind of like, then you kind of hit it with your fist a little bit. Not like hard enough to punch it or like do damage.
Just frustration.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then getting restless, he'll walk out.
Okay. Lucilla, what were you, Vanya, and Hiss doing during that time?
Well, I'm kind of now. Hessica's hanging back, thinking maybe we want to do the same thing, and just like hang around at the entrance to the fair and make sure everyone gets out.
Okay.
I ain't paying the goblin. I didn't go do anything fun.
Eventually, Yuke joins you. Hissik, do you kind of join with Yuke when he leaves? Or are you kind of hanging back?
I'm hanging back. I want to give him his space.
All right. Yuke walks up, finds you guys near the entrance. Hissik is kind of MIA at the moment.
What are you all doing here?
Last time we left someone on their own, bad things happened.
Look, I appreciate it, but I really just...
Okay, it's fine. We'll go. Just wanted to see you leave. Well, yeah, I'll start walking ahead and give him his space. But, yeah. Yeah, I'll just do that.
Okay. Where do you go, Lucilla? With Vanya and Hiss.
Guess back to the palace.
Okay.
Did they say that our stuff is being brought up from the tents, or do we?
Yeah,
have
the
to-
king said
Yes,
that.
and by the time, well, you haven't reached your rooms just yet. So Vanya and Hiss kind of, as you move up to the palace, minus Hissik and Yuk, you see King Scotty. What a name. I didn't make that name up, by the way.
No, I know you've said it before, and I'm like, really, wizards?
That's what you got, Watsy?
Can come up with something more intimidating than that.
It's probably like Scotry the Third.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It doesn't command respect.
It
Be like,
doesn't.
hey, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey,
Hey,
Scotty.
ooh. But you see that guy, old Scotty,
That guy.
sitting in the kind of this empty court before the thrones, which are also empty. He's by himself, still noshing on another plate of food. He's pretty svelte of a figure. Cuts quite a figure for his age.
Is it like Henry VIII type? Where it's like muscly legs, massive stomach.
No.
No.
He's like just a generally fit guy.
So this is more like when someone dirty bulks and eats a ton of protein.
I think he's bulimic.
Yeah. He
Considering
goes
it's like his
he
third
goes
plate
he goes
food.
into like a one of those throw up rooms from like old Greece. Or the what the Romans used to do, and just throws it
Yeah.
up and comes back out.
The height of dignified
More
society.
feasting.
Maybe
So
he's just
good.
takes a bite and lets the plate go on, and then he samples.
No, he turns sideways and like pretends to eat the turkey
Okay.
leg, but he really just drops it into like a potted plant behind him.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but he's just he's like he's like a mid-50s kind of guy, in better shape than you would think.
So he's just on his own in the throne room, eating more food.
He makes eye contact with you as you kind of move into the doorway. Hiss and Vanya continue on.
Does he look like he's trying to get my attention?
He calls out, "You gonna make me eat alone? We danced together, and yet you won't join me for a meal?"
I suppress an eye roll so hard. Of course. And I'll go in, trying to remember my training on how to be nice to people who are higher station than you and who you don't want to talk to.
He calls for a plate of food for you and a goblet of wine.
I'll look out in the corridor and see Vanya and Hiss abandoning me and be like, oh, damn it. I'll sit down.
Well, you're a fine dancer.
Had a lot of classes.
Oh? Where at? He speaks as he reaches over, grabs a pitcher of wine, and pours you a drink.
Back home.
Where's
Long
home?
way away from here.
Where's home? It's not Irongate, is it?
No.
I should hope
My
not.
home is island full of elves like myself. Mostly.
A mysterious one with no name?
Lyria, if you've heard of it.
I have. I have indeed. It pays to be well informed when you rule a kingdom.
Did you already know this and you just wanted me to say it?
No. No, I did not know that. Sometimes I can get my own information.
Caught something in what you said earlier about having heard things about us.
Did you?
Just wondering what you've heard.
Well, it pays even more to be well informed of the things that happen in my domain. And, I've heard of a small mercenary band of surprisingly skilled individuals who have helped deal with a number of threats within the town of Saltmarsh. The burgeoning town of Saltmarsh. New silver mines and trade.
We try our best to help.
Well, seems like you're doing a good job. One Oni they here, an awakened tree there.
That one was a nasty one.
My sources tell me you dealt with the Sahagan threat. Off the coast, a little bit further up. That is most impressive. You and your friends seem to be doing a lot of work for me that I don't have to do, and I appreciate that.
Our pleasure.
I'm pragmatic. See, I like to recognize talent within my kingdom and utilize it when necessary, where necessary. And you and your band seem to be quite effective. Would you be willing, perhaps, to serve Keeland if called upon?
That is not just my decision to make. I don't have a singular leader of the group.
He kind of grins at you as he swallows a gulp of wine. I'm not so sure about that. I have a feeling that you can more or less get these friends of yours to do whatever your little heart desires. I don't mean that in a bad way.
They are friends of mine, so I care what they think.
Of course you do. I don't say you don't. I didn't say you don't. Too much wine. What I mean is they most likely care for you, and your voice holds weight. You can be convincing. And I promise, when I call and ask for your service, it will be worth your while, and worth their while as well. See, there are threats greater than an odd dreadwood creature here and there, or a Sahagan encampment. I had planned on doing something about that eventually, but it had fallen down the list somewhat. Luckily, you took care of it, and I appreciate it. Just give it some thought.
Can you give me anything more specific? Is this something you know about or something you're preparing for if it happens?
I'm gathering people with certain talents. Let's say I'm preparing. And without a firm commitment and further confidence, I'm hesitant to divulge anything further. But perhaps these events that are transpiring will help build that confidence.
Yes, well, you need to understand we do have someone dear to one of us missing at the moment. So, if I can get them to agree, I can't guarantee it'll be our priority.
Well,
Not
it
right
just
now.
so happens that you looking for this individual that you care about might align with my interests. I have been a staunch ally of the Silverstan Elves for some time. And anything that helps them out helps me out, as they are in my kingdom. We have a good relationship. So I would recommend helping them out as much as you could. And I would appreciate that as well.
Alright. I'll run it by them.
Good. Keep in touch.
Do I get any sense that this is something dodgy? Something off that he's
Go ahead.
being vague about on purpose?
Yeah. Make a check. Insight check.
Boy.
He is certainly being dodgy. He's not really trying to hide that. As you get up to leave and begin walking out the room, you see Yukala. Well, I don't know what Yukalas do. You see Hisik walk back up towards the rooms. You hear King Scotty call out, "You know, a king has great influence. And not just in the kingdoms that belong to him. I'm able to deal with sensitive matters that might benefit others that need being dealt with. Say perhaps, just for hypothetical things in, so even say my reach goes far enough even to Iron Gate, perhaps. I mean, who's to know?
That's good to know.
Anyways, sleep on it, think on it. I'll be in touch. With that, he picks up his plate, puts it back down, grabs another turkey leg, puts it on, fills up his cup, and leaves.
If Hissik's walking past, I'll just give him a nod. You dance with a man one time and he thinks he's entitled to dinner.
Who are you dancing with now?
I remember the masked figure from before. That was King Scotty.
Alright, so you guys make your way back to your rooms. For the sake of time, is there any other conversations you guys want to have or do? Things you want to do?
No, Ukal was just going to, by the light of the carnival, try to find a stick or something that he could whittle and carve into with his tools when he got back to his room.
Mm-hmm. You were able to find one.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make your way back to your rooms. Eventually lay down and slumber. Do you go to sleep?
He'll do half-assed, distracted whittling for a while, and probably pace around the room, and then, try to let exhaustion take me.
Okay. Eventually it does. You fall into a fitful sleep filled with dreams. Not nightmares like you've received in the past, but memories. Jumbled flashes of memory of combat, of battle. One of Yalno engaged in single combat with a hulking figure with a metal carapace studded with spikes. Your friends stuck to the back of it. It's wielding axes against you. Your dream flashes to another when you plunge the head of an axe through a helm that is like welded onto this creature's head. Portions of the Rövenglad on fire, fighting monstrosities, demons. Your friends fighting with you side by side. Magic flying through the air, burning foes and friend alike. A more peaceful vision, memory, now you know, of a field, windswept grass reaching to your waist. Waiting for something. Seems like you're waiting forever. And then at the edge of the field, you see a hideous woman with long, lanky arms, dragging long fingers and claws, walking towards you across the field. And with that, you keep flashing through these memories that make very little sense to you. And you wake from that fitful sleep in the morning. What do you all do?
Guess wake up and convene in someone's room. I'll go like knock on Yukala's door.
Yeah, Twinkle Toes, I'm here.
How did you know it was me?
Because you have the most impatient knock of anyone I know.
Touche.
Fella.
I'll go in.
All right.
Did you sleep at all?
Long enough to have a few more confusing dreams, just to add the proverbial cherry on top of what's been a confusing couple days.
Proverbial is a good word.
How did you sleep?
I don't.
Oh, you don't. That's right. Yeah, right.
I figure we should get together and decide what to do next. If you're ready for that.
Yeah. No sense wasting time.
Go around and get the others. Hisik! Hisik! Hisik!
Yes.
Come on, it's morning. I thought monks were supposed to be up bright and early.
I've been up for some time doing my meditations.
All right. Then they should be over and done with, and you can reconvene with the rest of us.
Vanya walks by, like toweling off. She's kind of wearing like a tank top kind of shirt, her breeches. Maybe you should spend less time doing meditation. Maybe do some physical exercise. You can see she's got a rad pump on. Her shoulders are just like filled with blood. She's been doing handstand push-ups all morning already.
Damn.
Just looking vascular.
Super vascular. Yeah, she's got a vein that runs like from her shoulder down her bicep, like and spreads out to these forearms.
I don't like that. I can't
Just
picture that, but whatever I'm picturing, I don't like it.
thrashed.
Ugh.
Hold on, I got you.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Something about veins. Ugh. Apparently, vascular systems and umbilical cords, not my jam. I'll get everyone up. But I'll be a little bit gentler when I go to get Hiss up.
Kind of, as you wake up, she toddles out, bids you good morning. And you guys all convene once again. All right. What's the plan? Yuke, I'm behind you.
Yeah, you may regret that. Good lord.
He looks like a tree.
That's Dorian
a tree
Yates.
with ivy crawling up it.
Dorian Yates was a tree in his heyday.
It's so wrong. Your veins aren't meant to bulge that much. Sorry, Brett.
Anyways.
Here's what I'm thinking. I say we go to the kings and the queen said they would offer us whatever resources we need to bring this person down, to bring this Nightshade witch down. So I say we bring them the shards of this mirror, see if there's anyone that can help our firebrand here piece it together, glean any information we can get from it. I know that's dubious, I know that's doubtful, but you never know. Maybe they'll have some insights that can help. Short of that, I think we ask if they have any idea of how to best go about infiltrating the Dreadwood. I'm not sure what that would entail. If maybe they know of spots that are easier to infiltrate for a small party, and could even lend a ranger or two to show us the way. Perhaps, and this would be most generous and unlikely, maybe they even launch a military campaign in part of the Dreadwood while we're sneaking into another part as a sort of large-scale, bloody, distraction. Again, I don't know that that's practical. I don't want anyone to lose their life over this, but it seems one way or another this thing is going to come to a head and war may be inevitable. In spite of what that lady says, I know nothing of war. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Any other ideas?
Well, I think they're very good ideas for a start.
I agree. And even if they didn't attack in a certain area, if they even just increased patrols in one area. Something to take the focus off of somewhere else. Like if they went and stood in front of the gate and called out whoever was in charge.
Yes, I've heard of a story like this, like
Right.
soldiers calling out at a gate while a group of was it halflings like snuck into another. Anyways, yes, but all great ideas. Let's maybe get some breakfast.
Am I misremembering that there was something about a place that had been set up in the Dreadwood? By the elves? Or someone?
You are not misremembering.
What was that?
I mean, you didn't get a lot of information about it.
No, I don't think we did.
King Scotty kind of brought it up in passing that there was kind of a joint venture between the elves and Scotty's human rangers, an outpost, more or less, the first of its kind. Actually, I think it was the King Eurydice who had brought it up.
Okay. I wrote so many notes last session that I have no idea where that was, but thank you.
Breakfast is brought to your room. You guys kind of sit around and enjoy like a cinnamon and vanilla flavored kind of porridge and sausages, warm cups of tea, lightly spiced.
That sounds amazing.
Small balls inside of the tea. But big
Someone
enough,
chokes on one.
big enough not to get sucked up on the straw.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
While we're here, got dragged into a conversation with King Scotty last night. After two of you deserted me. I'll look at Vanya and hiss.
I was tired.
Yeah, just leave the diplomacy to the elf, why don't you? I'm gonna check around and just have like a peek outside of the door and make sure no one's listening in to us.
So
Quickly.
we figured out who you danced with, or you figured out who you danced with.
I think Vanya got to dance with the Elven King. Or maybe it was the same, actually maybe it was King Scotty as well, I don't know.
I think it was King Scotty also danced with her.
Wait, who was
I
the
don't know who I
small
danced
one?
with.
Who was the small
I'm
one?
pretty sure it wasn't the king.
It wasn't the
Danced
king.
with the queen.
The Queen Eurydice, and Hiss danced with King Eurydice.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking someone the same height as her when you described it.
He was shorter. He's not as tall as
shorter.
like. He's elven stature.
All right. Okay. Yeah, can I check to see if anyone's listening?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Perception check.
Bam.
Always clear. You are safe.
Not that
To
useful
talk.
as far as a natural 20 goes, but I will take it. So I'll just go back to the others and say, so he gave me a bit of a proposition, which I understand, not our priority at the moment, but he basically asked, he tried to stroke my ego, say we're very capable mercenaries, thanked us for dealing with the Sahagin, and asked if we'd be willing to pledge our services to him. Which usually I would turn my nose up at, if it weren't for some of the things he hinted towards. He not so subtly said that his reach extended to Irongate. And I'm wondering if he knows something about us being heavily wanted there.
How would he know such things? Has he been tracing us? Did rumors of what we did make their way across the sea?
I mean, I'm gonna take out of my pocket the wanted poster. These kinds of things, for the right crime, reach quite far.
He
So-
did say last night that he was watching us.
Yep, he wasn't subtle about it.
No. He's had his eye on us for some time.
So, although servitude towards a king sounds like my absolute worst nightmare, he might be able to get our names cleared. Just thought I would bring it up while we're all here, but not something we need to worry about now. I don't think. But if he asks, I'd like to have something to say to him. So, give it some thought.
I wouldn't mind having him as an ally, but as far as nation states go, or my fidelity is my own land.
I mean, I'd want to have some sort of contract about this, so hopefully as far as it goes is us doing a job for him and not pledging our allegiance for the rest of our lives.
So, just so we're clear, King Scotty has been watching us.
Definitely.
Lady Nightshade, or the Mistress, or both of them have been watching us.
Most probably. Both of them, I would wager.
Well, you can pretty much guess that Vanya's god has been watching us.
I'm not worried about him.
Here's a question. Do we think Natali, or maybe something Natali had in her possession, was the means by which the hags could see us? Or is there a possibility that something else, some form of magic or something that one of us has on our possession?
When Hiss was doing that, she was able to do it technically without having anything of ours, but if they've got something that makes it easier for them, they'll have it with them, right?
Perhaps that's
Who
something
knows?
else.
Could be a strand of one of our hairs that she plucked when she was trying to kill us. Could be anything.
Well, to be honest, we haven't taken any precautions to prevent them from watching us.
Yes, I'm wondering if Hiss or Vanya have any sort of magic that could protect us from that sort of thing. And if not, perhaps that's another ask we could make of our friends in high places, as it were.
That's a good idea. because if we attempt any distraction and they're able to just scry on us, they'll know we're on our way to them anyway, and they'll know the route we're going. It would make any kind of stealthy approach somewhat useless. I mean, King Eurydice has mages, doesn't he? He had the mage that brought Philavandri back.
Yes.
So he seems to have capable magic practitioners. One of them ought to be able to do something.
You hear a banging on your door. Lord Yalno. Quick!
I suppose that's me, isn't it? Roll his eyes
Call
and
you that.
open the door. No. Please don't. He'll open the door.
You see kind of an out-of-breath elven messenger, a houseman, so to speak. And he goes, "The king, he requests your presence. It's the mage, Philavandri. Come quick." And he kind of races off.
All right. Chase after him.
Yeah. Is he just requesting Carla or?
He
I'm
requested
following.
Yalno, but didn't say anyone else. But he didn't say
I'm
don't come
following.
either.
Yeah, I'm following.
His hops off her chair and bustles after. You guys make your way into the main court. Once you do, like, large double doors are closed behind you, and you see the king helping Philavandri up onto the stone table that she had been kind of floated in on, so to speak. You hear her kind of grunt weakly. She lays down on the table. Is he here? I think it's time.
Paula will go up next to her. I
She,
assume you mean me. What do you need? What can I do?
yeah, I don't know. Is that your foolish voice I hear next to me?
I guess so, yes. That's what you call me.
She, like, her eyes open, just small slits. She peeks at you through them. A small frame lies on the stone. You do look different. With that, her eyes close and her muscles relax on the stone table. The king stands up as he was kneeling next to the table and looks over at his wife with a solemn look on his face. The houseman who brought you in, he reaches up and grabs a hat off his head and holds it over his heart. Nope. Nope, not yet. I thought it was time. I was wrong. I feel all right. She sits up. I was hoping I could will it to happen. It doesn't seem to work that way. These damn regenerative spells. Such a nuisance. All right. She swings her legs over the table and hops off. What's the plan? You've had your night of contemplation. It's a time for action. Lay it on me.
Well, we have a few ideas. We gathered up the pieces of this mirror that presumably Granny Nightshade, assume that's who it was, used to take Nictali and disappear. If there are mages here, perhaps they could help my comrade discern where this mirror leads to, or if there's a way to even use it, perhaps to teleport there, or whatever. Any information that can be gleaned from it. If that doesn't work, we think we need to infiltrate the Dreadwood by whatever means necessary. Either a small force, just us, led by a ranger, someone familiar, or I know there's some kind of foothold that the Keelanders and the Silverstand have in the Dreadwood. We could use that to our advantage. If there's a way to perhaps increase forces in one area as a sort of distraction while we go in another, that could be an option.
Yes, thinking like a general again. Very good. Maybe some things are
there
coming
any
back.
stories that this carnival is tied to Granny Nightshade?
Well, Granny... what carnival? Eurydice's queen pipes up. Philvandry, it's a carnival that travels from the Feywild during this time of year, and travels the material plane in certain areas and offers entertainment. We're their first stop. Well, it is... The carnival originates and travels from the Feywild every year. Granny originally has ties to the Feywild. Due to her very nature. She used to be, as legend tells it, a hag of Fey origin. However, hags have been known to adopt different ties. I think she's thrown off the Fey long ago. However, it's not improbable to think that she uses it as a way to move about quickly. The Fey is a bit of a demi-plane. And enter one area and exit another, and perhaps you could, if you knew where you were going, arrive at the correct destination. But if you didn't, you could exit somewhere across the world, and perhaps at a different time. The Feywild is chaotic and unpredictable at the best of times. If you aren't completely sure, it could be a dangerous path. Yes, what she said. It makes sense.
I don't know if there's instead of just walking into the Darkwood or Dreadwood, there's a way to use the carnival to get in.
Perhaps. I'll have my mages look at the shards, and I'll send a runner down to speak with Master Witchlight. And we shall see.
think it's possible that the Coven has any allies among those involved with the carnival?
No, it's
Or-
possible. They are unpredictable, as I've said. You can never know for sure. She's a master of manipulation, a master of bargains, and calling in favors, perhaps. She's using them for information, perhaps. I mean, who can know? King Scotty, who has again been eating a solid breakfast of eggs, potatoes, and just smothered in some kind of gravy, pipes up. Lord Ulysses, if I may. They mentioned the joint venture, the Abbey, as we call it. Could be a good foothold for good first step into the Dreadwood. Get them on their way. And perhaps on the way you could check in on them. Make sure everything's going swimmingly. Could send you with a couple of rangers. At the time, at this point, I believe it's my men that are manning the Abbey. We'll send you with a ranger or two to lead you there, and from there, talk to the rangers who have been ranging out from there into the Dreadwood, further and deeper than any have up to this point. And perhaps they can provide you with some useful information.
Does seem like a good first step.
And as you said, King Ulysses goes on, we could send a large patrol of rangers and elves into the Dreadwood to draw Granny's eye away from the Abbey and away from your actions. I think the smaller the group, the better in terms of infiltrating the forest. I think you were right on the head there, Yalno.
Speaking of Granny's eye, she mentioned, or rather I should say, the mistress mentioned that she had been watching us. Are there means by which we could protect ourselves from scrying magic, divination, whatever type of magic it is that lets people see you from far away?
You might be able to dig something up. We'll take a look in the treasury, see what we have. And with that, a mage kind of bustles off and down the hallway. Sometime later, the mage comes back and he's holding 6 amulets. These are, he explains. Hold on. Amulets of proof against detection and location. While wearing this amulet, you should be hidden from any divination magic. You shouldn't be able to be targeted by such magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. And here's one extra, just in case you come across someone who needs it. These are valuable. If you could, please bring them back to us.
Of course. This is most helpful. Thank you. I would say I'd sleep a little better at night, not knowing I'm not being watched, but honestly, I don't think that's going to be the case. Is there
All right.
anything is there anything we can help with the mirror or investigating the carnival or
No, you must give us some time on that. In the meantime, we'll start gathering some forces, sending messages. It would be good to set up a distraction anyways. We'll plan for a large force of elves and rangers, a combined force, to move around the north side of the forest. Make an incursion, see if we can't kill a monster or two. In the meantime, get some rest, recover. I'm sorry?
Do we go back to the carnival? First time we went to have fun. Do we go back to talking to our group? Do we go back to investigate?
Totally up to you guys. I feel like I've been steering the rudder a little more than my share lately, so I totally defer to
But
you
you
guys.
have actually good ideas, so that's why. Out of character, what would we be investigating at the carnival?
Well, in character, I'm thinking we assume that everyone there wants to be there. What if we look for any cracks in the facade?
I mean, you did say something earlier about if there's anyone there that's working for her. Might be worth having a look. And it can't hurt. What else are we doing while we're having messages sent and forces recruited?
Out of character, speaking of messages, wasn't there a message you wanted to send?
Yes, there is. I forgot to say before going to bed, so it didn't use up one of Sasha's spell slots. I'll remember at some point.
Okay. Sasha says, well, when you're ready, I'll send that message to Thrak. Just tell me what you want to say.
Yeah, how do I phrase that? Anyway. Oh, also out of character. Did Hisik do anything with Command? Did we just leave him there?
Oh, he had a bunch of. He was being well attended to.
That doesn't mean they're gonna take him home.
But they might have taken him home.
You didn't even check. He was your charge for the evening.
He was, but he had quite the repertoire around him when we.
You're a bad friend.
He looked to be well taken. He had quite a few ladies around him. He might have been happy to be.
And then they all go off, and then yeah. Just saying, we should probably go check.
Sure.
I'm just imagining what Brad joked about last time about him being on the dance floor on his own, like, hello? Someone? Anyone? Anyway, that's it.
All right. So what do you guys want to do? How do you want to play it?
Investigate the carnival for insiders, spies.
Okay. How do you want to do that? You guys make your way down to the carnival.
Can we check to see if the gourmand is still there? First?
He is not. You watch as there are certainly people like picking up after the party, but he is no longer there.
Alright. Yeah, so we have those amulets, don't we?
Yes.
Do we want to? Do we have to attune to them?
You do.
I was afraid of that. I think I've got. What is? How do you work out how many items you can have?
3.
Is it only 3?
Attuned, according to the rules.
No.
You have that many?
Yeah. Handbow, rapier, armor.
I guess I don't.
All. Well, you've got the
I've got the
Stingray.
cloak,
Yeah, manta
but
ray.
that
whatever.
is. It's a minor item. I don't know if it's. I don't know. It's,
I think I'd have to give up my armor.
Hey, Daddy,
Hey, bud.
Dang it.
what you doing? Did you finish?
Okay.
Are you almost
Do we
done?
want to attune to those now?
Kind of.
wouldn't probably be a bad idea.
Who's turn is it?
Because if we're going to be sneaking around looking for people at the carnival who are doing an inside job or whatever, might
Yeah, so
want
the
to make
cloak
sure.
is a non. No, I don't have it attuned to the cloak.
Do you want to swap?
No.
Dang it.
You just want my cloak.
Ah. Anyone want some Dark Fathoms armor?
Oh, that was pretty cool, though. Yeah.
It is, and I have to unattune it.
Armor doesn't do me any good, though, so
What are you doing?
it's in my way.
What you doing? What are you even doing?
Can't cast the tentacles thing anymore. Oh, and it's a minus
Just playing D&D.
AC.
Are you almost done?
That's
What's
big.
that?
Are you almost done?
About an hour.
Can you wear a
Oh, there
magic
you go. I see
item
inside.
without attuning to it, or no?
Be in it a bit.
Can you wear what?
Can you wear a magic item without attuning to it? And have it work as a regular set of armor? Or do I have to go and buy a
Yes,
set of
I would imagine you can.
armor? Okay.
It's just cool looking armor.
It smells a bit fishy still. Okay. I'll attune to the amulet and take off the armor.
Okay.
So I think I've got a 16 AC again. That sucks.
Yes.
It wasn't hard to hit anyway. It's hard to do full damage to.
I'm not sure what his is attuned to.
Probably the eyeball.
Yes, the eyeball for sure.
Yeah, it's not clear. I'm trying to look up like which items require attunement and which don't. I'm not sure that all weapons do necessarily, or
No,
Not necessarily,
I know
unless it
mine
says so.
that I've got do. Are you kidding me? I haven't been using the bonus this whole time.
What bonus?
This armor gives a +1 bonus to AC on top of being studded leather, and I haven't been using it. I've used the armor. I didn't add the +1 when I put this on my character sheet. I found the Reddit page. And I haven't had the bonus to AC on my character sheet the whole time.
Classic.
I'm the worst at this game. I could have had an 18 armor class. Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so you guys make your way down to the carnival and start spreading out. How are you guys doing this? So let's be a little bit more general, so we can kind of keep things moving a little bit.
Guess we're just looking. I don't even know what we're really looking for, actually. Just signs of someone being aligned with Granny, but we don't know of any like symbols that she carries or. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe look for mirrors that seem like she'd communicate to people with. I don't know if that's her thing. I don't have any better ideas.
Okay, so go ahead and if you're looking for physical signs, roll an investigation check for me.
I was. My thought was to actually find people that looked, if you will,
That looked what?
unhappy to be there. Like
Are
they're
you
doing.
actually okay? What is your thought about what's actually happening with the carnival?
One, I'm wondering if it's being used to like abduct people as it goes along. I don't know. That just seems like something funny that a carnival weird carnival would do, right? I don't know why. Just
Funny.
carnies do that, right?
Always
People go
kidnapping people.
Right? I don't know.
Classic carny behavior.
Right? So weird. But are people? My thought is, if people are unhappy with the carnival working there, they might be more willing to talk to them.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Ooh.
You walk around. You obviously are going to find people that are looking a little grumpy, and some that look not grumpy at all. You just kind of spend some time mingling with those that are willing to talk to you. And those that are grumpy are more mad about things like pay, time off, the hours of operation. Just kind of general employee kind of stuff. You don't get the sense that anyone's necessarily working for her. In fact, when you bring up Granny's name, those that recognize it treat it with disdain. they've heard of her. They know of her. She's an ancient hag who is known in the Feywild. Yeah, there are even some sayings like make a bargain with Granny. You got to sleep in the bed. You sleep in the bed you make when you make a bargain with Granny. You run across a smattering of cautionary tales, but no one seems to be a fan of hers at all. We'll save that for the 13.
I can't think of anything else we need to do.
Okay. Eventually, you are summoned back by the court after like a long day of investigation. The carnival kind of turning up no leads. The mages inform you that there is a magical essence of teleportation, and there is a almost like the taste of the Feywild upon the glass, but there's no real way of knowing where they went. In specificity.
Sorry.
I guess they weren't able to piece any of it back together to make it at all usable.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Well then, maybe is it best that we go to this place you talked about, the tabby? What was it? The cabbie, the cabbage? What was it?
The Abbey.
Yes,
King
that's
Scotty
the one.
says.
Yes, that's the one. How would we get there?
I can send you with a couple of rangers. The smaller the group, the better.
All is fine. When do we leave? When do we depart?
When you say the word.
Thunderbird.
No.
Well, now.
The word. Strange man.
Well, yes. Let's be off then. Let's do this.
Time's a wasting.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't speak for the rest of the group. I'm just want to get this.
I thought I'd meander around the carnival some more. Go on the swan boat. No, of course I'm coming. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I have to get to her before I let her down. I can't let her go any deeper than she already is.
It's all right. We've got a plan.
Maybe not kiss anymore when.
Probably a good idea. But also, just one step at a time. We'll get to the Abbey. Figure it out from there.
Oh, don't worry. The next time I see the mistress, the only caress she'll know is the edge of my axe.
Well spoken.
And my dagger.
And my bow!
Exactly! I was hoping you'd go with me on that one.
All right. Spend the rest, the next hour or so rapidly getting prepared. King Scotty picks out 2 rangers. One being Jeremiah, your friend, and the other being another kind of squat dwarven man. Dwarven male, rather. Who's riding like
One
kind of...
thing.
Hmm?
Sorry, before we go, could we maybe pick up... Do the rangers all wear capes or cloaks
Yes.
of the same kind?
Like
Can
a
we
mottled
pick up
brown and green.
Yeah, can we pick some of those up?
Absolutely. The kings are able to provide you with clothing befitting a ranger that will help you blend into the forest surroundings that you're about to go into.
Fantastic.
Also, before we go any further, the bow that I have it listed as the baby arm bow. I don't know. I think
The matron of miseries bow.
yes. So I don't know if there's any negative things I need to have on my sheet.
I'll tell you.
You passed the check the first time. It might
The
be
first time, yeah.
You did it. You're attuned to it. You have that.
I know. I don't
Attunement.
have any details on it. So.
Okay. Do you want to take that with you?
Did you have the positive stuff from it?
I have it on my sheet as for attacks.
Mm-hmm. There you go. You're good. Don't worry about it.
I don't trust that.
Baby arm torment. Yes. So
I like that.
you gather horses for each of you, and set off and out of the Silver Sand Forest. Now, you're told that the entrance that you're going to take is about 24 miles away, though the closest probable entry or the edge of the forest is about 12 miles away. Get to where you need to, you're going to spend about 24 miles to travel. So, moving through the Silver Stand, across, as you move out of the Silver Stand, you move back out into kind of the rolling hills of the landscape in between. You spend much of the day riding, and eventually you see the dark, very dark green edge of the Dreadwood, and as you move closer and closer to it, you see that the trees themselves are tightly packed. It takes you about 8 hours or so to reach the edge, which puts you at about it puts you about, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Jeremiah, your friend, states that it's best to sleep outside of the forest, and so you spend that night, make camp, sit around a warm but quiet fire, eating rations. Not much is said. You spend the night. Yuke, again, you are experiencing similar dreams as before, but you wake up ready for the next day, and you guys move to the edge of the Dreadwood.
Could I have asked Vanya to send a message?
Yes, during that period of time, you can do that.
Yeah, I'll just tell her to send a message to Thrak to say, we have an idea to take the boat out. Tomas is the one with the idea, but Thrak is the one with the final say in the end. And I trust him implicitly.
The message you receive back is, you don't say. We've been at sea for days now.
Shit.
Don't worry about us. We've got this handled. The new captain is working out well.
Fuck. I thought that would take him longer to get there.
You can even hear like a tinge of excitement in his voice, like a thrill of adventure as he responds.
But you said giving him our ship would be fine.
Calculated risk.
As you reach the edge of the Dreadwood the next morning, you see that the trees are dark bark wood, evergreen, coniferous, a mixture of all sorts of trees that don't seem to go together. The leaves generally are very dark green, or the needles they're in, and the trees are fairly tightly packed. Ferns grow on the floor, and the rangers step off their horses and like smack them on the butt and send them back the way you came. Well, the Dreadwood isn't really a place for horses. They won't willingly go in, even our bravest. They know that once they pass the boundaries, they cease being horses and become meat. Anyways, gather our gear. We're going on foot from here on out. With that, you move into the dark depths of the Dreadwood.
Oh god.
Sorry, that's
I
loud.
just realised I'm casting Roll20 to my TV and the speakers are playing music. I was like, where the hell is that coming from?
So, as you move into the Dreadwood, the further and further you get into it, the tighter packed the trees become. The canopy overhead lets in almost no light whatsoever. It's a rare glimpse of the sky that kind of raises your spirits, but only just slightly. You notice that there are kind of normal flora and fauna, but few and far between, and small creatures like squirrels, rabbits. They somehow are more skittish and wary. They're larger too, almost as if the creatures that could survive in a forest like this exemplify the principles of survival of the fittest. Jeremiah and your other dwarven ranger, who is abnormally quiet, stress the importance of silence. Moving slowly, surely, between the trees, being as careful as possible not to make a sound. The going is slow and the going is tough. The thick undergrowth and the tightness of the trees keep your pace at what can be described as a crawl. At times, Jeremiah has had you slow and stop suddenly. You've heard creatures move through the forest, snapping branches, twigs. But it's so dark and the light so thin that you've only seen dark shadows move at the edge of your vision or across it. You continue moving through the forest, and it takes most of the day, and it's almost impossible to figure out how far you've traveled. Eventually, you see some light ahead. You reach, as you continue onward, a little bit further. Jeremiah stops you, leans in. The Abbey's just ahead. It's located on an island we found in the middle of a large lake. It's the only of its kind we found in the forest. Once there, we should be safe. The defenses are stout, and there are wards set up to protect those inside. We've repelled a number of attacks, but generally they cannot get across the bridge of the wards. Stay close. The further in you get, the more dangerous it becomes. You move further on, and eventually you reach a clearing. And you see a lake, maybe about half a mile across at points. And in the middle of which is a large island. Atop this island, you see a stone building. It is reminiscent of like a chapel, which you ascertain is where the name comes from. There's a long wooden bridge built without railings on pilings, almost like a long dock that reaches from the shore across the water to the island itself. And you move to the edge of the bridge, and the dwarf, who has not said one word up to this point, looks up to Jeremiah. Something's wrong. I can feel it. Turns back to you all. Stay close. And you start moving across the bridge towards the Abbey. You hear the dwarf say, "There's no movement. No call-outs. They should have challenged us already. There should have been movement. It's too quiet." And the dwarf turns, Jeremiah turns as well. We need to see what's going on there. You don't have to come if you don't want to. How do you want to proceed?
I think there's safety in numbers.
Yeah, you couldn't keep me away. Let's go.
You walk the distance across the bridge. It's maybe a little under a quarter mile. It's a long bridge. Your footsteps creaking on the wooden slats laid over the piles, looking into deep, dark blue water. Your visibility only reaches a couple inches below the surface. No birds sing, no animals chirp, no fish jumps. The only sound is the echoing footsteps of boot heel against wood. After tense minutes, you reach the other end. And before you stands a keep with a with a wall and a pathway that runs through an open gate. The keep has a very tall turret on one side and a smaller one on the other. And you can see not very much of it, just that it's multi-storied at this point over the wall. Give me 1 second. Just give me a second. Give me a second.
I don't like this, I feel tense. The music is not helping.
Yeah, that's not.
I should probably turn it up.
No. I don't know if you want to do that.
I don't remember
Slightly
how
inducing.
to.
As on like the cogwheel.
Yeah.
Do kobolds have night vision?
Oh, good question.
Let's see. Cobalt, the playable race that's changed like 5 times over the last 6 months.
Oh, it has. I've only found. Oh no, I found the actual version. I think they do, yeah. Regular.
Yeah, because they originally had sunlight sensitivity as kind of a offset to pack tactics.
And
Yeah, they have dark vision. Dark vision to 60 feet.
Yeah, that's regular dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Give me 1 second. For some reason, these
Who of us doesn't have dark vision? It's Vanya.
Vanya doesn't.
Hisik. Yeah.
Hisik is a human.
How painfully
terrible cough.
ordinary.
Are we still 10, by the way?
Yes.
What, level 10?
Yes.
I thought we were level 11.
Yeah. Yeah, we, yeah, my bad. You guys did get a level last time, I thought.
Well, shit.
10 in Rogue. 1 in Sorcerer.
Maybe I'll take up Granny Nightshade as a patron, and I'm a warlock, monk, cleric.
Can you guys see the map?
Yes.
It's black.
It's black?
Oh, I can see.
I can see myself.
I can see quite far.
How far?
I'll show you with the.
Let me see.
See to here.
I can
This is
see
the edge of the.
60 feet.
Oh yeah, that's
so-
a better way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can see like.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
They're around, all around in 60 foot. Maybe 65, actually. Maybe that's too far. I think maybe I'm seeing 65 feet, not 60 in some places. But I don't know how circles work.
Well,
for whatever
Ocala must
reason,
be here, and Lucilla must be here because that's where the arrows start.
You don't know. You can't see shit.
Well, now I can.
Oh. We're in my
I'm just giving everyone night vision because that seems to be
Yay.
the
That's what they want to be
cheer
doing
here.
anyway,
I want
essentially.
Gen 4 night vision mounted on my Mitch helmet.
That's right. Give me
That's
1
it.
second. I'll be right back.
Oh, wait. Can I give her
Alright,
a
to make a
uniform?
quick break, dude.
Yeah. I don't know, something about the distance arrow that's just fun to me. What's that for?
I don't know.
0 plus 0, 0 equals 2.
Yeah. There's a fudge. It says fudge on the dice roller.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Rolls 0 plus 0 equals 1.
Minus 1. Interesting.
We use, in my other campaign, we use Foundry for the map stuff.
Hmm.
And while it's cool, like you gotta have a server dedicated to it and all this other stuff anyway. But you can roll with virtual dice, and you can roll a shit ton of them, and basically it fills the entire screen with, D20s. It's kind of cool, but
Yes.
kind of a pain.
Sorry.
Just imagine if we tried to do that, how many tech issues we'd run into.
Alright, sorry. I'm back.
Bonjour.
Alright. Alright, what do you guys want to do? So, you guys can't see. You can guys kind of probably see, but there's a wall here.
Did we just cross the bridge from the north?
Yes. If you look up, it looks like a pier. It's
Yes.
not a pier, it's a bridge.
Right.
We trust you implicitly.
Well, sure.
Yeah. Did you say that there were lights when we were further away? I remember you saying there was light in the distance. Are there?
The light was basically the clearing. Like you broke through the edge of the trees to see this huge clearing where there's a lake, and in the middle of the lake is an island that you're now on.
Yeah. What time? How dark is it here?
We didn't even hit the edge of the Darkwood or Dreadwood till like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, but then we camped.
Camped.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I would
Basically,
say
walking into the Dreadwood at midnight is probably the best plan.
I would say you're probably there early afternoon, like 1 to 2 o'clock, like 2 o'clock, I'd say.
1:12.
Moving,
Is there much?
and you started early. Like moving through the Dreadwood is slow going.
Is there much light making its way through here?
Yes,
Speculatively.
yes, it'd be like a normal lake. The sky, you can look up and see the afternoon sky. It's blue. This is the first light though that you've seen since you entered the Dreadwood.
Okay.
or the first time you've seen the sky. As you look, you can see the abbey is surrounded by walls. There's also like a hill next to the abbey that kind of connects to the wall over on this side. The walls themselves look to be made of mortared masonry and are about 10 feet tall, maybe a little taller.
Do we want quieter people going first?
What?
Or
Is that just your way of saying you don't want to go for it?
I'm quiet.
Did Jeremiah and the dwarf go forward?
Yes, well, they're with you. Wherever you guys are at, they're with you. I'm finding a token for them at the moment.
Do we want to send Screech in?
Brad, I also have a question because I can't remember where we're at with this. Am I getting the benefit of a long rest now when I sleep, or is that still not? Or am I?
Yes,
I'm getting
yes,
the benefit of a long.
yes, you are.
Okay. Okay.
Thank God.
Hold on a second. Also, you guys are much too big.
You realize that the guy in me wanted to retort to that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, but I might as well have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we
all
got
right.
the ball on that one.
So, some general features of what you're looking at here. It's about the general building you can see, the Abbey, is 2 stories high. It has a roof covered in slate tiles, except in certain places you can see that some of the tiles have fallen off or broken, and some of those areas seem to have been repaired with what looks like some thatch. Over on this side, you'd be able to see a very tall, like turret style tower, at the top of which looks to be like a large brass bell. You can see another smaller turret kind of poking up over on this side here. It also has like a conical roof. It's higher than the roof of the Abbey itself, but not quite so high as this turret here. What I want to do is kind of bring you a little closer so you can kind of see where the walls are, what I'm talking about as far as like there's this hill that kind of butts up to the walls.
Oh, 1 second, guys. Yep.
There we go. It's a
Okay,
little
that's
bit better perspective here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
Tell those guys to stop calling. All right.
So, do we want to scout ahead?
Not smart.
Trying to remember what the range with Screech is like. It's quite, yeah, this whole thing's quite far away.
It's like 100 feet, I think.
So we would have to
I'd
get
like
closer to use that.
to pull out my bow and also kind of try to start moving quietly.
Okay, go ahead and move your token where you want it to go, and go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
You said that there's not a lot, and like this is an opening though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
no
much to hide
gates.
behind.
Like, no trees. It's an opening, right?
So here you see that there is a gate, but it appears to be damaged.
Okay.
But from the distance you're at, it's hard to tell to what extent and why.
Jesus.
He'll ask Jeremiah if it. Okay, thanks. He'll ask Jeremiah, was it like that the last time you were here? The gate.
No, it was not. And you watch as Jeremiah and the dwarf take out their longbows. Well, Jeremiah has a longbow, the dwarf has a crossbow.
I was talking now, but I might as well say it out loud. Hiss could send Screech just 100 feet ahead of wherever she is. We can try and get a bit closer, but she'll have the first view of anything happening, so we can maybe have a bit of a heads up.
Okay.
Is it a building or like a walled compound?
It's like a walled compound, and then the building is in here. You can see that there's
so
at least a multi-story
we
building
know
in here.
If Screech flies out, we at least know like what's inside.
Okay. Hiss takes off her hat and shakes out, like she grabs the top point of her conical hat and like shakes it, and out pops Screech.
I kind of wish he was still wearing her mushroom hat.
And Screech flies away in its erratic motion, as it normally does, and alights atop the wall here. His eyes are a milky white. She relays the following. There's an archway in the fortress's outer wall. It seems to provide access to a large courtyard. It's filled with vegetable gardens and a small orchard of... they look like stunted apple trees. Stairs to the east and west lead up to walkways overlooking the yard. There's like a walkway so a guard could walk atop it to overlook the wall. To the southwest, the base of the bell tower is obscured by thick growths of vines, which also shroud the west stairs that are there. A set of double doors stand along the front on the far side of the garden. Let me take a better look. And Screech flits over. Oh yes. Hinges broken. Just bashed to bits, and there's blood on the door on the outside. The wood scratched and bashed. I can't tell. Hiss can't make it out, or Screech can't make it out. The scouts, Jeremiah goes, That's not good.
We might as well get closer. We have to at some point.
It's true.
I'm gonna
Agreed.
follow in Hissic's footsteps and
Hiss
crossbow out.
snaps out of it, brings Screech back, flies up into the hat she puts back on.
Can I move forward and roll a stealth check, please?
Yes, go ahead. If you're all trying to be stealthy, why doesn't everyone roll a stealth check for me?
Hey!
Except for Hissick, who already has. Hiss rolled a 18. I think you guys can see that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Vanya's wearing heavy armor, right? I don't remember what kind of armor she
Is
has.
she or is she wearing mithril?
She is wearing mithril, you're right. So she does not have disadvantage anymore.
I was thinking she hadn't done a disadvantage stealth check in quite some time.
Can't see what she rolled. 15. Not bad. Okay. Uke? Nice. 10. See, 29, 26. I think that would. So, you guys move forward towards the broken gate. Scouts move with you. They move up along the wall.
I'll move with.
As you move closer to the gate, you see that the gate's hinges are still attached to the wood, but have been pulled out of the masonry of the wall. The masonry is on the ground in clumps. The gate itself, in places, is just completely smashed and bent, which is surprising because they are stout gates, heavy wood. There are scratch marks and blood on the gate, which are basically two gates that close in the middle and open up. One is off its hinges. The other one remains intact, but still has scratch marks and blood on the outside. And dents in it. A lot of dents. What do you guys want to do?
How big are the scratch marks? Is this
Roll a
medium
check.
size?
Are the walls?
Roll an investigation check.
Okay.
You could roll a survival check. I'll let you go with that. What's your survival bonus?
-1. So it changes it quite a bit. Sorry, I thought you were talking
That's
to
all right.
me when you said
I
investigation.
was saying that, so I'll let it ride.
Okay.
I changed it after you rolled it.
Just too quick.
As you kind of sneakily get close to the wall, peek at the door, you see that these scratches seem to have been made by a large number of medium-sized creatures. The scratches are accompanied with streaks of blood pressed into the grain of the wood. You even find a fingernail or two.
A human fingernail or a claw?
Oh yeah.
Hisik, how high are the walls?
About 10. A little more than 10, like 12.
I'm going to take a step back and Spider-Man up the walls.
Okay. You just like take about 10 steps back and you race towards the wall. Your feet hit it, up and over. The dwarf looks up. Jeremiah leans in. I told you they were good. I told you.
You know, even put myself on top of the wall, or
I shall do it for you. This is what you see on the inside.
rows of vegetable.
Yep. So here you see like a small grove of stunted apple trees, vegetable garden, just some kind of normal, everyday trees. Nothing big. You see a pathway that leads up to a set of double doors here. You should be able to see this, although of course you can't from there because of dark vision and stuff. When we come back, I'm gonna update all your vision to like 120 feet. Here's the corner of the house, and you can see that this is the tower here. As you look up at the top of the tower, you see a large brass bell. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me, since you're making a new movement.
That's terrible.
That is pretty bad.
For you, at least.
As you see all this, you take it in just a second. You pop over. Hold on a second. You pop over the wall, and you accidentally kick over a bucket. A metal bucket set up on the other side. A metal clang as your boot hits it, and it slides off and hits the gravel down below with a deafening clang.
You let my dog out there. I can still hear.
There's a moment of silence as the noise echoes off the hillside over here. And then you hear
Is it a Jabberwocky?
You hear the beating of wings and the ring of the bell. And you watch as the bell moves and rings out, sound deafening in the silent air. And you watch as a dark shape unfurls large wings from the other side and leaps off of the bell tower and circles high overhead. What you see is a large bird with a wingspan stretching 10 to 15 feet in diameter, huge claws hanging down beneath it. The bird has red feathers. But as you look closely at the bird, you notice that it's odd. The head itself isn't a normal head of a bird. It has antlers sticking out the top of its head, and it has a cruel-looking beak. But as it opens its mouth to cry out, you see sharp teeth inside of its maw. Its head almost looks like it belongs to some kind of furred predator, maybe a wolf of some kind. It's hard to tell as it's flying so fast and starting to circle, and its terrible cry rings out over the quiet lake. As you watch, it takes one last circle, its eyes on Hisik. It tucks its wings in and dives towards him. And with that, we'll end today's session.
I know what this is.